everyone. All right, well, what could have been a decent $2,900 green day turned into a $23,000 red day when FOMO set in and I took that final trade and then just went down with the ship. I was like, I'm not selling here. I was like the captain on the Titanic. I was like, oh, there's no way. I refuse. This ship is unsinkable. And I jumped in on a micro pullback, and I liked the daily setup. I mean, I liked everything about it except for a couple things, but for the most part, I really liked it. And I thought this was the one that was gonna go. And when it dropped, I added, and then it went further, and I was like, I'm not selling this. I'm not gonna take this big of a loss on it, only to watch it rip back up in 2 minutes, because that keeps happening. So I just held it. And then, finally I stopped out and lost over $1 a share, and it was stupid. So, I have decided that I'm gonna check myself into trader rehab starting on Monday, and I'm gonna take the day off tomorrow and just get some space, because these last 5 days have not been great. Last Wednesday I made 50,000, and on Thursday I made 100. I made 150,000, and those 2 days put me up almost $400,000 in gross profit on the month. Since then, Friday, down 37. Monday, down 37. Tuesday, up 7, whatever. Yesterday, down 30. Today, down 26, 23. I've given back $125,000. And I'm disappointed. I'm gonna cash it in. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm up 265,000 on the month. I'm cashing it in. I'm done. July is in the books, and I need to press the reset button hard going into August. And that means trader rehab. What is trader rehab? Depends for different people. It's different things. For me, it's restricting my share size and restricting the number of trades I take each day. Hey, that sounds like the small account challenge. Basically, it is. So my thought is maybe next week I just focus on the small account, and the large account, my retirement and my main account, it is what it is. I'm not happy to be kind of leaving both of them after this $125,000 drawdown, but all things considered, they're finishing the month of July in the green. Both accounts are green for the month, and I can just kind of set them aside, and I can just focus on the small account for the first week or so of August. Or I could trade the large account in the same manner, which would be 1 to 2 trades a day, 3 at most, 3 trades most in one day, and max share size, like 6,000 shares. That'd be 2 orders of 3,000. And also removing my Shift 1 hotkey, because that is my impulse hotkey. Shift 1, that's impulse. Tap, tap, impulse. Jumping in as something rips, and that is very dangerous in a cold market. In a hot market, when the impulses are right and the market's there, it's great. You want to be able to move quick, but it's end of July. The last 2 weeks have been pretty choppy. Aside from that burst of momentum on Neuro, everything else has been choppy, and August is typically choppy as well. So I should assume that'll continue, for a couple more weeks before things start to pick up. Usually September, October, November, into December is when things pick up for me, statistically speaking. So, I don't have any doubt. I mean, I've been in this situation of having, 5, 6 red days, or having, a red streak or a slump. I mean, I've been through so many slumps that none of what I'm thinking about or talking about is new. None of this is reinventing the wheel. This is the same thing that always happens. The market's hot, I trade aggressively, I make great profits, and then it slows down. I keep trading aggressively, I lose money, and then eventually either the market turns around and I just start making money again, or I have to rein myself in through trader rehab because the market's not picking back up. That's kind of the thing. At a certain point, it's like, I can keep going around the track at the same speed, and eventually the track, the rain will dry and I'll be able to start doing better, or it starts raining harder and I actually have to slow down. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. And that's not surprising considering it's the end of July going into August. So my plan right now, trader rehab for the first, and I'll just kind of put this note here. So when I sit down on Monday morning, I'll be reminding myself of this. So I make this little, I'm gonna make like a little teepee here. So it's kind of like a little tent, and I'm gonna say rehab day 1, 6,000 shares, max size, 3 trades per day. All right, and I'm gonna put that there. That's gonna be August. So until I have a little bit of a cushion on the month. Now, the fact is, obviously, if we see something like Neuro, if we see something rip up 200-300%, then the market's telling me, okay, time to throttle back up. We're back on. I don't expect that's gonna happen. And I should come in with the expectation that it won't happen and trade very cautiously. If it happens, then that's great, that's awesome. But I should just assume that it won't. So for right now, that's gonna be the plan for next week. As always, if we see something that really warrants a reconsideration, I'm okay to do that. I'm happy to do that, but I have to approach it with extreme skepticism. And most likely, I'm just gonna have to miss the first day something starts to make a move and only go aggressive if we have day 2 continuation, like we had on Neuro. Day 1 was a little, it was good, but it was also a little choppy. Day 2, day 3, that's when we started to get some action. And that's usually the case. So we haven't had a good day 2 on anything this week. We've had pop and fade. So until we actually get something that holds up through the rest of the day and that we're looking at pre-market the next day and it's like, wow, this thing was on the gap scanner 2nd day in a row, it's holding up. That's when it's time to be more aggressive. That's when the market's starting to heat up. I guess what I would say is that hopefully as part of my kind of trader rehab, I'll be able to get 4 or 5 days under my belt of just small base hit trades just to kind of clear the slate. Because if on Monday morning we do have something that is gapping up like 175%, the problem is then I'm faced on day 1 of rehab with this temptation to just trade aggressively. And while the feeling would be, well, it's the right move because look, the market's high, this thing's moving, the other side of it is that if I don't trade it well, and I end up taking that big position that's too extended or whatever it is. Come here, girl. And then next thing you know, I'm starting the month on a red note, and I just can't do that. So, unfortunately, regardless of what happens on Monday, in the main account, in my retirement account, I have to enforce this rule. I have to get a couple days, kind of just to clear the slate. And if something makes a big move during that time, I'll make what I can on it with small size, but I'm not going to be pulling, $50,000, $100,000 out of the market the next couple days. And that is what I've talked about before, which is so when you have a big loss or you have a drawdown, you have the loss of that initial, trade. And then you have the opportunity cost of missing anything that comes in the following week because your confidence is broken and you have to trade conservatively, and you took all the risk on those low quality setups, and now you have no choice. Your back's against the wall. You can't be aggressive on these ones, and that means you're going to miss out on that potential profit, and that's your second cost. That's on you. That's your own fault. So it's my own fault if we have a big momentum stock on Monday or Tuesday next week and I miss it. That's my own fault. I'm going to miss it because look what I just did this last week. Unfortunately, I tapped myself out here and lost too much, and I don't want to have a bigger drawdown. My account's now showing that my all-time high, was marked after Thursday of last week, and I'm down 125,000 in these last 4 days. 5 days, whatever it is. So it just, that's the way it goes. So I gotta redeem myself here and trade a rehab day 1 in August. That's just where I'm at. So yeah, disappointing. I hate doing a recap like this. It's not what I love. I don't like these red streaks, but I've had them. Someone yesterday was like, why does anyone listen to this guy? He just loses money. And I'm it's like, okay, this guy must have like subscribed for the first time on Friday. And I feel really badly because these last 4 days have been pretty lame. But it's important to see it for what it is. Context. What's the context? Yes, it's true that this guy always loses between July 23rd and 28th, 2021. In that window. Okay, that statement's true. What's also true is this guy's up over 200,000 on the month. What's also true is this guy's up over $2 million on the year. What's also true is this guy lost $240,000 in one day in February. This guy trades big. He has some big winners and he's got some big losers. And what's true is that trading is risky and that there's no one out there that you could possibly learn from that doesn't have losses. There'll be people out there that don't talk about them and that sweep them under the carpet because they don't think they reflect well on them because, no one wants to show off, hey, look at how much money I lost. But, when I started doing a recap every day, and that was in January of 2017, there's been a couple days where I missed a day and then I did like a 2-day recap the following day or something. But for the most part, I've done every day since 2017. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So for five years, a recap every day. There's going to be red days, and I share them with you as part of the journey. Learn from them what you can. If you learn nothing from it, then you don't have to subscribe to the channel. You don't have to watch them. If you learn something from it, and I hope that you do, then hit the thumbs up and subscribe. I think that we've got a great community of traders out there that are all genuinely interested in learning as much as they can about momentum trading, and you are the guys and gals watching these videos. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry it's been a lame finish to the month of July. This is the way it is. I'm disappointed in my performance, but that's the way it goes. You just that's part of trading. So you're seeing it right here. In case you didn't already know, trading is risky. I come into the market every day knowing I have a risk of losing money, and I'm comfortable with that risk. I take the risk, and if I lose, I lose, and I move on. Now, after 5 days like this, I've got to press the reset button, and I'm going to do that going into August. So I encourage you, if you're a beginner trader, especially this time of year, practice in a simulator. Don't put real money on the line. Definitely don't put real money on the line until you've proven you can be profitable in a simulator, because the reality is most traders lose. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. Enjoy the recap. I get a little deep. I talked a little bit about, the ups and downs of trading. And right now I'm on a little bit of a down, so it's where it's at. Take it for what it's worth. I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you guys on Monday morning. All right, see you then. Thank you so much. What's up, everyone? All right, well, it's official. Trader Rehab starts on Monday. I can't avoid it. I can't avoid it any longer. I tried to rein it in. I tried to slow it down, and I have sped it up. So I'm up 2,900 in my main account. I'm down 26,000 in my retirement, which puts me down 23,000 on the day for my 4th red day in the last 5 days of trading. So I'm going to cash it in. I'm going to cash it in, taking my money off the table for the month of July. I'm going to walk away with money in my pocket, my tail between my legs, but I'm not going to give any more back. So I am up, before fees and commissions, $291,000 on the month. Well, after today, it'll be about $265,000. $265,000. Hey, that's a great month. Great month, all things considered. It's a terrific month. I can critique it and the things that are not good about it. Obviously, it's not good that I was up $388,000 and I've given back $120,000 20 or whatever off the top. That's not great. But at the same time, that's trading. It's ebb and flow. You make money and you give it back. You make money and you give it back. And there is not a trader in the world who does not have losing days. There is not a trader in the world who doesn't at times have slow periods. This is part of trading. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook and you're looking for a trader that never loses, you'll never find them. If you're looking for an indicator that is 100% right, you'll never find it. There is no holy grail in trading. When we come into the market to trade, we come in knowing the risk we're taking. Trading is risky. Losing money happens easily and it happens quickly. That is part of trading. Good traders make more than they lose. That's it. And they make money more often than they lose money, typically. So their accuracy is higher, and as a result, they're profitable. And I am. And I have been this month. This has not been a great finish to the month. There's no doubt about that. It's been a bad finish. The first 3 weeks were great, and the last 2 weeks, well, I started with 2 red days last week, and then I made $150,000 in 2 green days, and I have proceeded to give it all back. And that's disappointing. To make $150,000 and then to give, well, basically almost all of it back. I guess not quite all of it, but to give most of it back, that's pretty disappointing. The market has cooled off a little bit, but I haven't. I've still been going full throttle, pedal to the metal. The rush of $150,000 in 2 days got me excited. I thought, all right, this feels like last summer. Things are picking up. I got aggressive. Well, that was the wrong move. But I stepped up to the plate. I put my money where my mouth is, and I said, I think the market's going to pick up here. And I was wrong. I was wrong on Friday. I was wrong on Monday. I was wrong on Tuesday. I was wrong on Wednesday. And I'm wrong again today. So this is 5 days, 4 days that are red, 5 days of pretty choppy trading. And I'm going to take tomorrow off. I was already kind of planning on it anyways because I have something I have to do. So it's fine. So I'm going to take tomorrow off. I'm going to enjoy a long weekend and recharge a little bit. But when I come back on Monday, I can't come back in swinging for the fences the way I have this last week. I just can't do it. Because what I can't do is continue this red cycle. I've been able to say for the last 2 weeks, hey, at least I'm still green on the month. Hey, at least I'm still green on the month. I'm not going to be able to say that next month. So when I sit down and it's August 2nd, Monday, I'm going to need to be starting from zero. Zero. That's where I start the new month. I start at zero. We all start the new month at zero. And so I need to reduce my share size. I need to trade more conservatively. And I need to try to build a cushion. And once I've built a cushion, then if we see some opportunity, I can certainly increase the risk. But until I've built a cushion, I just have to go slow. I can promise you, having gone through so many of these cycles, I mean, I've been where I'm sitting right now, I've been here more times than I could possibly count. You look at any one of these little red streaks right here, red streak, 37, 25, and 9. You know, that's a significant $75,000 red streak right there in 3 days. $75,000 gone. Back on the wagon, you know, or things pick up. You look back at May. This was a little stretch here. This was like a full week, almost 2 weeks of really choppy trading. You know, I didn't have any good winners this week. I didn't have any good winners this week until this day here. Let's go forward. You know, again, you can look at this here. Look at this stretch. Green, gave it all back. Green, back to red. Deeper red. At this point, I went red on the year. Then $66,000 loss. I mean, this was a terrible, absolutely terrible 2 week stretch. This was probably the worst 2 week stretch I've ever had because unlike the last 2 weeks, in the last 2 weeks, if we look at the profit from the last 2 weeks, well, let's look at the profit from the first 2 weeks, first of January. So the profit of the first 2 weeks of January was actually, we got to include the 15th. was minus $126,000. Yikes. $126,000 lost in 2 weeks. All right, so let's look at the last 2 weeks here. So the 19th through, let's see, 7, we'll do 31. Whoa, that's actually $17,000 in profit. Well, but not including today. So I guess I'm down like 5,000, 8,000? Huh, I guess that's not bad. And it's not. Big picture, it's not. These last 2 weeks have been basically flat. I had 2 huge green days, and then I had, 2, 4, 5, 6 red days. And it's nice that 2 really nice green days can make back the losses of 6 red days. It's disappointing that this is the way it is. I'd rather, in some ways, have 6 red days in a row and then 2 green days where I'm bouncing back, because then I'd be finishing the month with some confidence, finishing the month strong. But that's not the reality of this month. So the fact is, if I go back to January 1st, 2021, or I even go back to January 1st, 2020, and we look down here at the profit, you've got $7.7 million in gross profit. And I'll say, for those not familiar, that my results are not typical. But I will also tell you that the way I feel right now, I was down $97,000 on this current drawdown. And I'm going to be down 126,000 or 120,000 after today's losses are booked. So 120,000. The way I feel right now, it's the same way I felt back here. It's the same way I felt back here. It's the same way I felt back here. This was, I suppose, worse, but it's the same way I felt here, same way I felt here, here, here. It's the same way I felt, maybe not on those days, but definitely on these days here, down 42,000, down 30,000, 25. Having drawdowns is not fun. No one likes to have back-to-back losers. Nobody likes it. Nobody wants that. You don't come sitting down here thinking, oh, I'm going to risk $30,000 today, or I'm going to hit my max loss 3 days in a row, or whatever it is. But sometimes, unfortunately, it happens. And so right now, I'm on a red streak that really began on Friday, I guess you could say. So Friday, Monday, small green Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I'm down 126,000 since last Thursday. And I've got to stop the bleeding. And this is where Trader Rehab comes in. So Trader Rehab for me is about pressing the reset button. It's unfortunately sometimes you just have to press the reset button. You get yourself in a rut and you're unable to, you sit down saying, oh, I'm going to follow the rules. Oh, I'm not going to overtrade, this and that. And then you do it anyways. Right? You know, and so when you're in that pattern of saying you won't overtrade, saying you'll restrict your share size, and then going ahead and doing it anyways, or breaking the rule, then you really need to get yourself into that Trader Rehab. And you need, during Trader Rehab, to focus on discipline and following the rules of your strategy. And what usually happens, sometimes the first couple days are tough. You're fighting it a little bit. You're like, I've refused to really acknowledge this. So sometimes the first couple days in Trader Rehab are tough. You might get really angry. You might get frustrated. But usually after a few days, you start to kind of get in the groove. And so what I'm going to do next week, I'm going to focus still on my small account, which has been slow and steady, going well. You know, I've had a break-even day yesterday, I guess. It was up only $20. Had a red day earlier in the week, or was it Friday last week? I don't remember. But, you know, it's been going pretty well. And I've been focusing on 1 trade a day. And, well, now 2 trades a day in this section of the small account between day 10 and 20. So one approach for me for Trader Rehab would be just to trade in the small account, because in the small account, I'm basically already following Trader Rehab rules. I'm very limited on position sizing, and I only take right now 2 trades a day. That's Trader Rehab. So I could just focus on the small account for all of next week and just kind of put the large account on the shelf. Yeah, I'm putting something on the shelf that's, you know, kind of, it never feels great to throw something on the shelf after, you know, kind of some bigger losses. You feel like, maybe I'd put it on the shelf, but I've got to kind of recoup it first. It's like putting I don't know, half-cooked dinner in the fridge. It's like, well, it's not really, why I should finish it. But with trading and with an account, there's never really a finish point. I mean, you could have a day where your account is at all-time highs. My account was at the all-time high, not the account balance, but my total profit was at all-time highs on this day right here a week ago. That was the highest my account has ever been in terms of my equity curve. So I could have put it on the shelf right there, and I guess that would be a perfectly okay place to put it on the shelf. But then you'd always feel like, oh, I'm leaving so much on the table. Why would I just put it on the shelf? So to, again, put it in context, gross profit in this account, I began it in January of 2017. So all of my profits since January 2017 that you'll see right here, this is my gross profit, and then this is my net profit, net of fees and commissions. This has all been verified with broker statements, audited, etc. So 2021 will get audited at the end of the year, but as of 2020, December 31st, this was all audited, and I've got broker statements on the website. So right now I'm down 126,000 off my all-time highs, which was a little over 8 million. So, you know, if you think of it like that, you know, I mean, on an $8 million, you know, total gain, losing 100,000 is like 2%. I mean, it's like losing 80,000 would be 1%. So losing 160,000 would be 2%. It's not even a 2% drawdown. So context is important. Now, sometimes as a beginner trader, you're not able to have this benefit of context. And so what you rely on is your sim trading metrics. If you have your metrics from trading in the simulator, you look at those metrics and you say, well, I'm the trader who's done this. So yeah, I'm having a drawdown right now, but I know I can recover. I've done it before. And I've gone through so many periods of ups and downs. I know that I will recover this. I mean, this is just 5 days of choppy markets, and I should have cut the losses faster, et cetera, but you know, it is what it is. I trade aggressively. Trading aggressively is the only way to grow probably a small account. It's what's worked best for me, but these losses come with a territory. So going into next week, I could just focus on the small account, and that would be okay. Just trade in the small account. Don't touch the big account for a week. Just let the big account rest. And you might think, well, geez, well, then when you sit down and start trading the big account, you know, it feels to me like, I don't know, like if I just trade a small account, am I really regaining confidence if I have 5 green days in a row next week? And I don't know if I would. I don't know if I really would feel like I've gained confidence after 5 green days in the small account. I think if I had 5 small green days in the big account, that would be a bigger confidence boost. I'm not sure why it feels that way, but you know, you think of like these athletes and stuff, and I don't know, like if you are doing like motocross and you're like, oh, I just had a big crash. I'm gonna ride a bike with a smaller engine for a week. You know, but then that next day you come back finally to the one with the big engine. Does it not bring back exactly how you were feeling the last time you were on that bike with the big engine? I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud. So my trader rehab rules for the big account are restricting number of shares and restricting number of trades. So what works well for the small account in that way works well for the big account. Most likely on Monday, the approach for the big account would be 1 to 2 trades. Maybe just 1 trade a day. That's the best trader rehab. 1 trade a day, that's it. If you go red, it is what it is. If you go green, that's great. And with a max position size. And that could be 5,000 shares. 5,000 shares. So I take 1 trade, I make $700. That's it, I'm done. Shut it down. I do that for 5 days in a row, you know, get green, small gains, shut it down. That's good. That starts to break the cycle. And obviously right now, the market is just not calling for being more aggressive, although I continue to trade aggressively. So it's certainly possible that during the course of the next week, the market could pick back up. But it's also possible it continues to be slow. And if it continues to be slow, then I should be grateful for a day like this, 2,900, and I shouldn't go swing for that big trade. This would have been a perfect first day of kind of trader rehab in a way if I hadn't taken this trade right here. That was the one that ruined my day. One trade. In one trade, my average loss is $26,000. My average winner today is like $1,000. That is the worst profit-loss ratio you could have. How does that happen? FOMO, swinging for fences, revenge trading. And I did all of it today. So on Monday, trader rehab for me. It's not what I was planning on doing in the month of August, but you never plan to go into trader rehab, but sometimes you have to. So that's going to be how I start the month of August. Trader rehab, discipline, small size, and focusing more on the small account and trying to make a little bit more progress there. The small account, I've been taking 2 trades a day in it this week. Last week and the week before was 1 trade a day. But trading in fact, 3 accounts, retirement, main, and a small account all at the same time, your attention naturally is pretty divided. And as a result, I'm sure I have been kind of under maximizing my growth in the small account because I just haven't been focusing exclusively on it. So it might be good just to focus exclusively on the small account for next week and just actually let the big account sit on the shelf. And so it's down $100,000 off the all-time highs. So what? When we have a stock that's up 50, 75, 100%, that's the time to come back with the big account. And until then, maybe just hit those base hits with a small account and just be in the small account trader rehab mindset. I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. I'm not totally sure on that, but definitely I'll continue to trade the small account next week since that's been going well anyways. And I don't know. The big account is in trader rehab. So the question will just be, do I trade at all or do I just, it doesn't feel like really trader rehab if you don't take any trades because you're not, you are, I suppose, in some ways practicing discipline by not trading, but forcing yourself to kind of break the ice is important and keep trading. I always think that that's important. And maybe it's not. Maybe that's been my mistake all along. Maybe my urge to trade every single day is a problem. Maybe I should be okay with not taking trades for days at a time. I've never done that. I trade every day. And I have traded every day pretty much for as long as I've been trading. Over the last several years, you look at any time in my on my calendar here when I have a no trade day, usually it's because I was out sick. Or I had, something I had to do that morning or something happened, I had to be somewhere. I would say each year, maybe one day out of the year, maybe 2 days at most, I sit down and I don't see anything to trade. Could that have happened on May 19th? Maybe, I don't remember. Maybe since I was in this red streak, it's possible I had a no trade day there where I chose not to trade. It's possible, like a midweek day like that. That might have been a no trade day. Maybe, I'm not totally sure, but it's very uncommon. So, you look back at years of trading and every single day I've got trades. Now there's other traders out there that are much more disciplined, about that. They don't, they know exactly what their A quality setups are, and they're willing to not trade. I'm almost afraid of doing that. I almost feel like I have FOMO, a fear. I don't know if I call it a fear of missing out. It's a fear that if I restrict myself that much, that what if my perfect setup, what if I don't see it anymore? Then I'm no longer a trader. I don't know. I think there's a part of me that feels afraid to not trade. That what does it mean to sit here all day long and not take a single trade? What does that say about me, about my strategy? I'm supposed to be trading. I don't know. Maybe I need to work on that. So anyways, some stuff to think about. So, and I really am not that upset right now. It just is what it is. I can't be that upset. I'm up over $200,000 on the month. It's been a fantastic month, even after fees and commissions. My gross profit obviously is a little bit more. Fees and commissions add up, but it's been a great month. Sure, it's not been a great finish, but some months are great to start and weak to finish. Others are weak to start and great to finish. I mean, it goes both ways, and this is just the way July has been. So, I'm going to brush it off, but at the same time, I recognize the importance of reestablishing some kind of better discipline in my trading. And while I don't think that I'll ever get to a place where I'm so good that I'll actually just know exactly the right moment to ease off the throttle, I think that I could do better than I've been doing the last week. So it's time to get into trader rehab because I can see the writing on the wall that if I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to dig myself a huge hole in the month of August, and August is going to be a red month. And I don't want that. I'd rather be break even in August. I'd rather be up 10,000. I'd rather be up anything than red. So I want to get it off to a good start, because if I keep doing what I'm doing and I lose $100,000 in the first week of August, it's going to become the biggest red month of my career. That could happen right now. That could happen. So I have an opportunity right now, at this very moment, to make a decision to not let that happen. And that's what I have to do. So the biggest red month that I've had, let's see. Let me look at, where's it? Count now. I thought I was looking for, is it detailed 2020 monthly? So, what am I trying to find? Oh, 2020, there we go. So, but I got to do net profit. So after fees and commissions, in 2020, I had a $27,000 red month. And so that is the biggest red month that I've had. These were 19,000, 21,000. Those weren't that bad. This one was 10,000. And this one back here, when I began my small account challenge, these ones were pretty small. So the biggest red month that I've had in the last 5 years is 27,000. I could do that in one trade on Monday morning, and I don't want to do it. So I got to get the new month off to a good start. I'm going to, like I said, cash it in, take the profit off the table for the month of July. Thank you, July, for a good month. I'm sorry that I didn't treat you better. Wish I'd kept a little more of that profit in my pocket, but you gave me a taste of the big momentum on Neuro, and I kept going back for more. So it's the way it is. That's trading. Flew a little too close to the sun. And I'll be back in August. And the redemption for August is not about money, it's about confidence. It's about regaining a bit of confidence after this 2-week slump that I've been in. So I'm looking forward to it, but I gotta make sure that I get it off to a good start. So that's where Trader Rehab comes into play. So I will see you on Monday morning. Enjoy the weekend, get some rest, and we'll see you on Monday. I hope you really enjoyed that video, and make sure you hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers this year, but we won't get there without your help. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button.